Architecture is arguably the very fabric that clouds our society. The men and women behind these amazing creations are often not known the way their works are seen and known. An average person often goes their entire lives without knowing exactly who is responsible for shaping their day-to-day quality of life. However, once in a while, one of these creators stands out as a true master of their craft, becoming famous for what they do. Famous architects can yield influence, shape the architecture's world, and of course can amass a lot of wealth being the most expensive architect in the world. Today we're going to talk about the most expensive architect in the world and some projects done by him. The most interesting facts you wouldn't want to miss are kept at the end of the video, so make sure you stay tuned for that. An 85-year-old man named Norman Foster of Foster is the highest earning and the most expensive architect in the world. Norman Foster, or to give him his full title, Sir Norman Robert Foster of Thames Bank, born on June 1st, 1935 in Manchester, England, is a British architect known for his sleek modern buildings made of steel and glass. Foster was trained at the School of Architecture and City Planning of the University of Manchester from 1956 to 1961 in England. Upon his graduation in 1961, Foster won the Henry Fellowship to Yale School of Architecture in New Haven, Connecticut, and earned a master's degree in 1962. Beginning in 1963, he worked in partnership with Richard and Sue Rogers and his wife, Wendy Foster, in a firm called Team 4. The new business quickly gained a reputation for its high-tech designs, but the partnership didn't last. In '67, he established his firm called Foster Associates, which was later renamed to Foster+Partners, the architecture practice that is world famous today. For over 5 decades, it's been responsible for radical projects of varying sizes, most of which you've probably seen at least once in your life due to its popularity. Throughout his career, Foster has become the most expensive architect in the world and has built himself a personal fortune of approximately $200 million. He's also the only architect to make the annual table of Britain's wealthiest people. In recognition of his prolific work in the field of architecture, Foster has been honored with numerous awards during his over 5 decades in the industry. Sir Norman Robert Foster was awarded the Pritzker Architecture Prize in 1999, celebrating his contribution to the industry and the genius of his works. The Pritzker Prize is like the Nobel Prize of Architecture to honor a living architect or architects whose built work demonstrates a combination of those qualities of talent, vision, and commitment, which has produced consistent and significant contributions to humanity and the built environment through the art of architecture. He's also claimed the Prince of Asturias Award in 2006 and the AIA Gold Medal Award in 1994. In 1990, Foster achieved one of the most coveted honors for any Brit, a mention on the birthday honors list, and he was subsequently knighted and granted the title of Sir. In 1997, Foster went one step further when he was appointed to the Order of Merit, allowing him to add OM to his title. And again in 1999, he was elevated to the peerage as Baron Foster of Thames Bank of Reddish in the county of Greater Manchester. To cut the long story short, throughout his illustrious career, Sir Norman Foster has won over 470 awards in architecture and designs. As the founding partner of Foster+Partners, most of us will have seen examples of his highly distinctive work. The architecture of the British Norman Foster is known not only for its high-tech modernism, but also for being some of the first large-scale energy-sensitive designs in the world. Norman Foster's buildings establish an exciting presence wherever they're built, with an acute awareness of the lightness of structures and their ecological impact. Foster's public buildings have been particularly innovative in terms of the user well-being and sustainable agenda. Foster's earliest work explored the idea of a technologically advanced shed, meaning a structure surrounded by a lightweight shell or envelope. Foster's first building to receive international acclaim were the Sainsbury's Centre for the Visual Arts in Norwich, England, which is a vast, airy glass and metal panel shed. And also the Hong Kong and Shanghai Banking Corporation headquarters in Hong Kong, which is a futuristic steel and glass office building with a stepped profile. In these commissions, he established himself as one of the world's leaders in high-tech design and the most expensive architecture in the world. Let's quickly look into some of these more outstanding high-tech designs of the most expensive architect in the world. Apple Headquarters 2017. Whether it's called Apple Park or Spaceship Campus, the Apple headquarters in Cupertino, California is a huge investment for the high-tech company. And more than a mile around, the main building is what you would expect from a Foster design, which contains solar panels, recycled water, natural light, orchards, and ponds among fitness pathways and meditation alcoves. The Steve Jobs Theater is a vital part of the Foster design campus, but not inside the main office spaceship area. The next one is London City Hall 2002. The London City Hall is one of the most important buildings designed by Foster+Partners to symbolize the transparency of democracy. As a largely glass and steel structure, the democratic ideals of transparency and accessibility are conveyed in the building's innovative oval design. Intended to maximize shading, this building uses about a quarter of the energy consumed by a standard London office building, despite hosting over 15,000 employees. London City Hall is unquestionably one of the crown achievements of Foster+Partners. The next entry is the Gherkin, 2003. The Gherkin building, which is officially called 30th Street Mary Axe, became an instantly recognizable part of the London city skyline since its construction over 18 years ago. Its shape reduces the amount of wind deflection compared to a rectilinear tower, due to its narrow peak and tapered body. The hexagons separating its glass exterior are also designed with energy in mind and resolve many problems posed by a more traditional wall and roof construction. The Gherkin is 41 stories high and is highly energy conscious and socially focused, ensuring there are open spaces on every floor for gatherings. Our next entry is the Millennium Bridge 2000. The Millennium Bridge in London connects the North Bank to the South Bank between the St. Paul's Cathedral and the Globe Theatre, and is the city's first dedicated pedestrian bridge. The design incorporates art, architecture, and engineering to create a ribbon of steel that crosses the river with minimal intervention. Pedestrians enjoy panoramic views of the city from the river that are unobstructed by the bridge itself. Queen Elizabeth II opened the bridge in June 2000, and it quickly had to be closed when the number of people walking over it caused it to be wobbly. The deck was reinforced and the bridge reopened, thus it also earned the nickname Wobbly Bridge. Our next entry is the Great Court British Museum 2000. The Queen Elizabeth II Great Court British Museum had previously lacked a central space for visitors, and its main courtyard was largely unused. The Great Court is now the largest covered square in Europe and provides a space with shops, a cafe, and an exhibition space in the heart of the museum. Our next entry is the Reichstag Building 1999. The Reichstag Building is tied to the very unification of the country back in 1871, but due to damages throughout the history of the building, a full reconstruction could not be led until after the German reunification in 1990. Foster+Partners added an iconic glass cupola to the posterior of the building, symbolizing rebirth after reunification and its capacity to provide light in the darkened interior. The light and air that now enter the building improves the user's well-being and opens the building up to the city. Various aspects of the building's fabric, including the Russian graffiti marks, have been left to preserve the building as a living museum. Our next entry is Torre del Calcerola, 1991. The Torre del Calcerola was built to serve a communications role during the Barcelona Olympic Games in 1992 and improved the broadcasting capabilities in the area. The architects were faced with a challenging site on a mountain slope and proposed a hybrid concrete and steel tube with a 4.5-meter diameter. Foster showed attention to both the needs of the building and the consequences of an intervention in the landscape. Our last entry is the HSBC Hong Kong, 1986. Hong Kong and the Shanghai Banking Corporation headquarters is a futuristic steel and glass office building with a stepped profile, rising 50 floors up from a plaza on the ground level. It is a monumental building that marked a step in the evolution of skyscrapers. Elevators were moved to the outside of the building where they could easily be serviced, and this also opened up space at the core of the building for a more open-plan layout. However, the most notable features of this building are the two cement cannons on the roof, pointed directly at the Bank of China building, in an attempt to balance the feng shui. This design in the Sainsbury Centre for the Visual Arts established Foster as a leader in high-tech design. Sir Norman Foster has been prolific in his long career. Like most other architects, Foster has a healthy list of products in the industrial design category, such as yachts and motorboats, chairs, tables, wind turbines, skylights, tables, and power pylons. Sir Norman Foster's design is everywhere, so it's not surprising that he's the most expensive and highly paid architect in the world. What do you think about the most expensive architect in the world? What do you think about the future of technology in the years to come? Let's hear your views or opinions via the comment section. We'll be glad to hear from you. Like the video and subscribe if you're interested in more luxury content. And with that, let's watch another fantastic video from our channel if it might interest you. And with that, I'll see you all next time. Later, everybody.